While former Uganda Cranes player Mike Mutiaba petitions the IGG to investigate former President Moses Magogo. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakon joins in for sign language interpretation. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has set tough conditions to pardon the 10 Turkana warriors who killed Ugandan senior geologists and UPDF officers in Moroto in 2022 March. Compensating the families of those who were killed, truth-telling sessions, agreement on amount and mode of payment by the Kenyan government are some of those conditions set. The conditions were read to a visiting Kenyan delegation by the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo in Kampala.
On March 2022, Turkana warriors from the neighboring Kenya crossed to Uganda in Rupa Sub-County, Moroto District and killed 3 Ugandan geologists and 2 UPDF officers. The warriors were pursued by UPDF, arrested, prosecuted and convicted to Chitalia prison.
So, Your Excellency, this morning I had a meeting with the families. They have given us their consent to proceed with the discussions. And tomorrow we shall be meeting to discuss the details of how we are going to move. Then the delegation will also go to Italy, and depending on our discussions, we shall decide the mode of release. Is it by transfer of committed offenders? Is it by prerogative of mercy? All these are things we are going to discuss. And of course the quantum to compensate our people.
Since then, Kenya government has been negotiating for the pardon of the inmates. A delegation from Kenya, led by Presidential Special Envoy John Munyes, met with the Vice President and requested for the pardon of their citizens.
Excellency, the message I deliver today seeks to further discussions regarding the matter of Kenya herdsmen currently incarcerated in correctional facilities in Uganda. I wish to reiterate that the government of Kenya expresses its readiness to support the application of the Okukuraba reconciliation practice, which presents historic opportunity to reaffirm our cultural bonds, promote healing, and lay a sustainable foundation for peace and cooperation between the pastoral communities of our sister nations.
However, although President Museveni, through the Vice President, acknowledged that Kenyan nationals can be pardoned, he wants the technical teams from both countries to come up with compensation mode and costs.
I would like to direct the 2 technical teams, Uganda Interministerial Technical Team and Kenya Delegation, to begin their consultations freely, comprehensively and without delay. Time is of essence, and the families who have waited for years deserve to see this resolved. Specifically, Uganda's technical team is directed to work with its Kenyan counterparts to develop a mutually agreed settlement formula for the Okukuraba blood settlement, including the quantum of compensation to be paid to the bereaved families of the 3 Ugandan geologists and the 2 UPDF soldiers, guided by the Attorney General's legal opinion and in full consultation with the families.
Other conditions set are to engage the affected families and consult elders on both families to ensure reconciliation before pardoning.
Finalize the arrangements for the formal signing of the Uganda-Kenya bilateral MOU and resource sharing agreement, and propose a mechanism for its implementation monitoring. Identify any additional outstanding issues relating to the normalization of bilateral relations, cross-border trade and community security, and propose concrete bilateral cooperation measures to address them. Submit their joint recommendations to both heads of state within the shortest possible time frame, with clear timelines for implementation. Once again, Your Excellency, Special Envoy Munyes, I wish you and your delegation a productive and successful engagement here in Kampala this week. The warm welcome you have received reflects the esteem in which Uganda holds the government and the people of Kenya, and our shared determination to resolve this matter in a manner that honors the memory of those who lost their lives, restores peace and harmony to our border communities, and strengthens the foundations of our bilateral partnerships.
The Kenyan delegation, together with their Ugandan counterparts, will visit the affected families, the Turkana warriors in Chitalia prison, before the two presidents formalize the pardon agreement. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Democratic Party President and also Laro Peche MP Norbert Mao has vowed to pursue the speakership bid to the end. He was addressing the media in Kampala and said that it will be of better gesture when the NRM party invites him to its party caucus during the final discussion about the matter.
Who has the final say in the matter of who becomes speaker?
In the Tuesday 19th May 2026 press conference for the Democratic Party President, Norbert Mao kicked off with a disclaimer.
Our focus is not what is going to happen on the 25th. Our focus is what sort of parliament we shall have in the 5 years.
Without Mao taking further address, he urges that the competition should focus on the future of parliament and the country at large.
The party that should have the final say is called Uganda.
With many writing him off the speakership race on account of not being an NRM member, Mao responds as follows.
If not being NRM is a disqualification for a high office in Uganda today, in a government led by the NRM, why have I been a cabinet minister?
The Democratic Party President has turned in excitement about the ongoing corruption investigations in the corridors of Parliament, targeting the former Speaker Anita Mao.
The famous Rolls-Royce, which unfortunately has now been degraded. I've seen it on a breakdown from Katwe. I mean, the makers of Rolls-Royce must be embarrassed.
He says the current situation exposes much inefficiency in government and leadership.
When I announced that I was going to be speaker, even members of my own party descended on me. And now the prophecy is in the dustbin.
In this case, Mao counts himself to what has so far been achieved in axing Anita Mao out of office.
What is truly mine will come to me in due course. My destiny will unfold. And what is truly mine will be that place which is the best for me.
On the other hand, Mao has called for auditing of operations of Parliament.
Ladies and gentlemen, action is what makes a difference, not commentators.
To the opposition, who have for all years doubted Mao, he demands an applause from them.
The opposition should thank me. You were supposed to be walloped. You heard it. They said that in the last parliament you were swallowed. That in this parliament you are going to be walloped. You should thank me for disarming those who wanted to wallop you.
To the NRM party leaders, Mao has set the tone and he says it must be listened to.
To my friends in the NRM and to President Museveni, let us reclaim the spirit of 1986.
Mao says that the speakership race must move beyond individual and party colors.
To our allies in the NRM, the speakership is not just a matter for the NRM. It's not just a matter for the members elected to the 12th Parliament. It's a matter for all citizens. Since the MPs represent the citizens, they cannot ignore the public sentiment.
However, to his surprise, corporate endorsements continue to flow in, especially from the Patriotic League of Uganda, a move which Mao says is undermining cohesion and integrity.
My expectation is not that I should be imposed on the Parliament as Speaker. Not to say tumulese. It should be aze tumusimye.
In a moment, the NRM Parliamentary Caucus is invited to take the last step onto this matter. Mao is hoping for an attendance.
I expect that, like I was invited in Chankwanze, I will be invited to the NRM Caucus in the spirit of unity, which we all agree on.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The Ministry of Health has advised the public to be on high alert after 2 isolated imported Ebola cases involving Congolese nationals have been confirmed. The Director General of Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Charles Olaro, confirms that whereas the first case died, the second is undergoing treatment at Mulago Isolation Center.
Western region districts along the Uganda-DRC borderline identified by Ministry of Health that are at high risk of spreading Ebola virus include Kasese District, Bundibujo District, Ntoroko, Kanungu, Kisoro, Rubirizi, Bunyangabo, Kabarore, Fort Portal City, Kamwenge, Isingiro, Chenjojo. In West Nile sub-region, there's Nebi District, Zombo, Pakwach, Bulisa, and Lamu. In central urban centers, Kampala and Wakiso, is advised to remain.
Ebola is a serious virus that causes fever, body aches, vomiting, and diarrhea. The disease spreads through.
Uganda has registered 2 isolated imported Ebola cases involving Congolese nationals. The Director General Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Charles Olaro, says the public must stay alert.
Within the next 24 hours, we also were able to test and confirm the second case, who is currently admitted in Mulago isolation unit. So that already shows that its capacity, as the PS has indicated, that we have lab capacity. And also have capacity in terms of human resources to be able to manage this case. And I must say that actually the patient we have at the isolation is already on the path to what? To recovery. And we pray that she continues to recover.
The Ministry of Health has challenged the public to be on high alert and observe standard operating procedures, but also report any suspected cases.
We have also deployed the lab in Kasese, so we don't need to transport the supplies, the lab blood to Kampala. It can be tested. And tomorrow, our lab in Arua will be functional, will be working. So we will deploy the epidemiologists. We have activated the district task forces, which are chaired by the RDCs and the secretaries by the DHOs. And we are looking at that. The most important aspect is that we want to monitor all alerts.
According to the Ministry of Health, movement cannot be restricted, but screening, especially at border points, has been strengthened.
And so we need to work together. That's why we are very active and very concerned that we cannot do things the usual way, even here in the country. And that's why we have activated all our systems. That's why we have deployed people at the borders who are screening. And that is the reason we postponed a very important annual event that brings so many people, many nationals into the country.
Uganda has recorded 8 cases of Ebola between 2000 and 2026.
Now, CID officers and security sister forces were at Parliament today conducting such activities in the offices, including those of the former Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, Clerk to Parliament, Adolf Mwesige, and the Director of Finance, Patrick Kunova. This started as early as 10 a.m. as the respective offices were marked as scenes of crime.
This is the corridor leading to the 5th floor, which accommodates the office of the former Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong. By 10 a.m., the premise had already been marked a crime scene. CID officers cordoned off the area found in the east wing of Parliamentary Building. The search operations are part of the activities which started on Saturday at Anita Mong's residence in Nakasero over claims of illicit enrichment and money laundering. The search activities kicked off, witnessed by Anita Mong's lawyer, Caleb Alaka, and auditors from State House. The investigations were extended to the office of the Clerk to Parliament Adolf Mwesije and the Director of Finance Patrick Kunobwa.
We're moving. We're moving.
And now with your client?
We'll shall issue an official statement later.
In the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's so many false narratives.
Tuesday has been business unusual at Parliament as security vehicles filled the parking lot, including an evidence response van. All eyes were waiting for what the officers could walk out with from the respective searched offices. It is alleged that the former Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, surrounded herself with illicit wealth acquired from corrupt tendencies, including mismanagement of parliamentary resources. Former Speaker withdrew from the speakership race of the 12th Parliament, leaving West Budama Central MP Jacob Oboth Oboth for speakership and Thomas Tayebwa as deputy. The investigations against Anita Among have been described as among the high-profile cases of corruption so far registered in Uganda as the NRM government starts its 7th term. Chisanja no sleep. By press time, the CID officers and sister security forces were still in Parliament conducting such activities in the offices, including of the former Speaker, Clerk to Parliament, and the Director of Finance.
The Deputy Attorney General, Jackson Kafuzi, has expressed optimism that the 12th Parliament will improve the legislation agenda following a shift in its leadership. Kafuzi cites that the outgoing 11th Parliament has left scars of disrespect and partiality which affected the mode of debate in the House. This comes at a time when the former Speaker, Anita Among, has withdrawn from the speakership race for the 12th Parliament.
And I want to give an order that we will not pass a bill once we don't have the Attorney General himself in the House.
In 2023, the then Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, was on record dismissing the Deputy Attorney General, Jackson Kafuzi, from guiding the House on legal matters during the processing of various bills.
You will not attack this Parliament when we are here.
Right, Honourable Speaker, we sincerely apologize for that. The Office of the Attorney General will continue to work closely with Parliament to ensure that this doesn't happen again.
The House was processing the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023 as returned by the President, where Anita Among accused Jackson Kafuzi of misguiding the President.
My role is to advise the President.
First agree that you wrote to the President and you wrote to the Speaker.
May I speak?
Please sit. Sit.
Thank you.
Sit. And you'll never come and disrespect the Speaker. And from today onwards, you'll not come to this House and defend any bill.
In an interview, Jackson Kafuzi recounts what transpired on that day.
I was hurt. I felt humiliated. It was not fair. It was not proper. But with time, I realized that I wasn't the only one. There were several others to come that were humiliated as well. Of course, it's not one of the days that I intend to forget in my life. It was very bad. And you know, the internet does not forget. So it will be there for the rest of, even my grandchildren will find it there and then they will ask, Grandpa, what was this?
Speaker Anita Among has on several occasions raised tone following disrespect of the Parliament decisions. She asked AG Kafuzi for an apology. This is what Jackson Kafuzi says should be improved in the 12th Parliament.
It is very important for you as presiding officer to respect the people's opinions because we cannot always have the same opinions.
Kafuzi, the Member of Parliament for Chaka South, says the projected Speaker Oboth Oboth could be a perfect replacement to address indiscipline.
We have just come through an election. The president has sold a manifesto to the people, and he wants to sit down and say, I want to do A, B, C, D. Parliament should not stand in the way. It should be a catalyst in driving towards achieving those goals. And the leadership of Parliament is very important if we need to achieve those goals.
Buganda Parliamentary Caucus has elected Buvuma Member of Parliament Robert Migadde Ndugwa as the new chairperson, replacing outgoing Butambala County MP Mwanga Chivumbi. During the election of the new caucus leadership, members emphasized unity regardless of their political affiliation differences.
Members of the Buganda Parliamentary Caucus in the 12th Parliament, led by the Deputy Chairperson Dr. Lumebaika, convened to lay strategy on improving service delivery during the next 5-year term. This also involved on voting their new leadership. However, there were disagreements between the NRM and opposition members, with some legislators questioning the need for a new leadership. Dr. Lume guided members to fill leadership positions.
We are directing those who are taking over from us to ensure that they bury their differences based on political parties and beliefs, so that they can work together, establish a legislative agenda that can work for the people of Buganda.
Buvuma MP Robert Migadde Ndugwa was elected as chairperson of the Buganda Parliamentary Caucus for the 2026-2031 term.
To put politics aside and we start lobbying for our people, we have to be a link between government and the men. So as the chairperson, one of my cardinal roles and my team that we are supposed to work with, to provide a platform for people to air out their views, because these are members of Parliament.
National Municipality MP Zambali Blasio Mukasa was elected mobilizer, Nsegumile Chibeda as publicity, Sarah Najuma head of culture, Dennis Sekabira vice chairperson, and Aine Dodo Kaguta head of international relations.
We are going to deliver. We are going to get united like we've done. We've showed our people that divisions does not pay, does not help us. We decided to come as members of Buganda Parliamentary Caucus that we should get one leadership. Not like before, because before we had 2 caucuses. We had the NRM and the other opposition one. But this time around, we've decided to have one caucus, which has been elected today.
Mulimu munene n'okusingira ddala kyengenda okusaba be babaka okumanya ensonga za Buganda nti bwembakunga nti Buganda wano weesibidde bayimirire ku Buganda weesibidde.
Rebecca Nantongo, Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
The outgoing Minister for Presidency, Millie Babalanda, has called upon men to support prevention, treatment and care services as the country works towards ending HIV and AIDS by 2030. This was during the International HIV and AIDS Candlelight Memorial at Kitante Hills School on the theme, Communities Lead, Uganda Ends AIDS.
The International HIV and AIDS Candlelight Memorial 2026 brought together leaders, health experts and communities to strengthen efforts against HIV/AIDS. Uganda has reduced HIV prevalence from 18% in the 1990s to 4.9% today, with over 1.4 million people currently receiving antiretroviral treatment.
I would also like to mention that, as earlier indicated, adolescent girls and young women, including key populations, remain disproportionately affected. In some communities, we continue to see stigma, misinformation, and economic pressures continue to, prevent some of our people from seeking care. Last year, our chief guest, statistics indicated that close to 100 new HIV infections are acquired every day. But sadly, about 33 per day occur among the young people.
Uganda was commended on the progress in reducing HIV infections and expanding treatment services.
Which, ladies and gentlemen, Uganda once showed the world that HIV could be confronted through leadership, prevention, honesty, and collective responsibility. Our ABC strategy and condom use became globally recognized because it combined public health with personal responsibility and moral courage.
Outgoing minister in the Ministry of Presidency, Millie Babalanda, warned that adolescent girls and young women remain highly vulnerable due to the poverty, stigma, and gender inequality.
When HIV threatens the very fabric of our nation, Uganda rose through strong political leadership, community mobilization, openness, and collective responsibility. I wish to pay special tribute to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is also the champion in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Jeno Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the bold and consistent leadership he has provided since the beginning of the epidemic. Under his leadership, Uganda confronted HIV openly at a time when many countries feared to do so.
Former Minister for General Duties in the Office of the Prime Minister, Justin Kasule Lumumba, has challenged National Youth Council leaders to sensitize their constituents to embrace government programs to scale down poverty levels.
I, Ongom Daniel, swear in the name of the Almighty God
that I will at all times well and truly serve the Republic of Uganda and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established.
So help me, Akuchi.
New members to steer the National Youth Council have been sworn in as the outgoing team handed over instruments of power.
Leaders like yourselves take oaths of office to pledge allegiance to the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. This acts as a social contract, assuring members of the public that you will prioritize duty over personal interest.
Outgoing Minister for General Duties in the Office of the Prime Minister, Justin Kasule Lumumba, implored the youth leaders to be the link between the youth and government. She said youth leaders must ensure their constituents embrace government programs.
So when it is prosperity for all, sit down and analyze the policies that have to do with prosperity for all and bring out what can you say, what can you do to benefit your constituency. Those are the youth. You be the amplifying team to make people know what is in the government. When people are talking about the grow, you people have gone to school. What is so difficult for you to register a company and begin small and be able to access that money so that you can compete at the level where you are, whether district level or sub-regional level or national level or even international level.
The Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development implored the youth to be disciplined.
You must have certain numbers on your speed dial so that in the event you are stuck with a matter, you know there is somebody I can call over this matter. Some of them may not necessarily be even employees of government or in the positions where you are deployed, but there are those key people that you know will be handy in terms of execution of your work.
The National Youth Council was established by the Act of Parliament and is mandated to organize, unify and engage the youth aged between 18 and 30 years. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Makerere University and Red Cross Uganda have signed a 5-year memorandum of understanding to support research, education and humanitarian service delivery in the country. The MOU was signed on behalf of Makerere University by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Finance and Administration Professor Engineer Henry Mwanaki and Secretary General Robert Kwesigwa for the Red Cross Uganda.
Uganda loses over 500 billion shillings annually due to natural disasters. With regions like Busoga, Buganda, Rwenzori and Elgon most affected. Red Cross Uganda and Makerere University have signed a 5-year memorandum of understanding to collaborate in research, education and humanitarian action.
This partnership is centered around what comparative advantage does the Red Cross bring on board, which is about our service to humanity, how we save lives. But then Makerere, with its expert knowledge, will bring on board how to help us carry out research, whether you want to call it operational research or any other research.
The university will have a number of sources for research. Of course, one of them is government funding. For example, the government of Uganda has been giving us to the tune of 30 billion per annum for research.
Research gaps cited in addressing humanitarian crisis in Uganda include the use of artificial intelligence, machine learning for early detection of natural disasters in prone areas.
We have sometimes floods where we are not able to rescue our people using our established human resources. As universities, we have the capacity to develop knowledge about how to enhance the use of AI to be able to project expected emergencies such as climate-related floods.
But you also have the social-driven processes on those landscapes, whether it is degradation or conservation, whether you are looking at the population dynamics that are altering the landscape.
Thank you so much. So may I maybe request for...
The Chief Magistrate, Lugazi Magistrates Court has Her Worship Rosalind Senge has sworn in Lugazi councillors with a call to respect the oath and serve their people.
That I'm going to administer, it is a ceremony that ensures that local grassroots leaders are officially recognized as representatives of the people.
I, Chuanuka William Viru, swear in the name of the Almighty God.
Sanitation has become a problem and for the municipality. We are going to sit and we see how we can come over and solve that problem of sanitation. Another thing is to sensitize or the people living in Central Division, how we can handle a problem of sanitation.
Twalabye Ebola yabaluseewo mu ggwanga, so nga nakayingira immediately office tugenda kusookera ku kintu kya buyonjo.
First and foremost, as a councillor, you expect more so my theme as a leader, because I have a theme. I'm touching strictly youth. I want to eradicate unemployment in my area by establishing a skilling center. Expect programs like computer graphics, tailoring, we have cookery, and we have also hotel management.
The Uganda Registration Services Bureau has strengthened systems to improve transparency, efficiency and coordination in government and the private sector. This follows a rollout of the non-individual register, a centralized database for all entities.
URSB Deputy Registrar General Alex Anganya says the new system will assign every registered entity a unique entity registration number, commonly known as ERN, to improve identification across government platforms.
Companies, partnerships, associations, NGOs, cooperatives, trust religion, and internationals, and both other corporate bodies. During this session, we envisage that we shall get up and organize registers for once in this country. And we shall be assigning a unique file where we call it PRN, and they shall be able to identify all entities across governmental construct.
For years, different agencies operated separate registration systems, leading to fragmented data, duplication, and inefficiencies.
Been informed that the establishment of the 9 individual register was mandated by the government of Uganda through an amendment in the Section 4 of the Tax Procedures Code Amendment Act 20 Dubai. Today's engagement, therefore, marks an important step in sensitizing stakeholders of this initiative and its significance in the involvement of this kind of things. I want to commend Uganda Registration Services Bureau for extending this sensitization efforts to Arua and West Nile in general, and the neighboring districts and West Nile in general.
The new register will create a unified system to improve compliance, simplify access to services, and strengthen government planning and policy implementation.
I'll get you back to the history of the registration region in Uganda. As it is now, until such as June 2025, we had multiple government agencies issuing registrations, issuing certificates, issuing licenses, packets to the groups and the house are briefly highlighted. And in doing so, it resulted in inefficiencies and having incorrect data or that is not validated.
For UBC News, I am Sudat Kaye.
Renowned palliative care pioneer Dr. Anne Merriman has been remembered for contributing to transformed pain management and compassionate health care across Africa. During the event on the theme honoring Dr. Anne's legacy, the critical role of palliative care education and parenting, the memorial reflected on the milestones achieved since the founding of Hospice Uganda in 1993.
In 2025, just last year, at the passing of Dr. Anne, the global palliative care map was released, showing Uganda as one of the countries which have an advanced level of palliative care development in Africa and globally.
On May 18th, 2026, Uganda paused to celebrate and remember the extraordinary life and work of Dr. Anne Merriman.
Over 300 health facilities offering palliative care. That means that they have a trained palliative care provider, they can access essential palliative care medicines, and we talk about 107 districts of the 146, which have at least one health facility offering palliative care. Specifically for this commemoration, we have been talking about building compassionate communities, to go back to being kind, to being considerate of our neighbor, to doing the work that we should do as social human beings.
There are many things that we are trying to align and ensure that palliative care is embedded. And we talked about having a module in the curriculum for the community health extension workers.
Dr. Miriam Ajambo further emphasized that whenever the ministry conducts community outreaches on chronic illnesses such as sickle cell disease, opportunities are also created to promote palliative care services.
And we will continue to ensure that whoever requires palliative care in Uganda actually gets it.
The memorial brought together healthcare professionals, government officials, caregivers, school children and advocates to reflect on the importance of compassion in healthcare delivery, as students also reflected on Dr. Anne Merriman's vision.
Dr. Anne was very compassionate and really wanted the community, especially the students, to be involved in palliative care.
Palliative care doesn't just add days to life, it adds life to days.
it gives hope to those who are dubbed to be hopeless. And me as a person and as Taiba International School, it's something that we are so privileged and happy to be a part of.
As Uganda reflects on the remarkable legacy left behind by Dr. Anne Merriman, much has already been achieved. But the candle she lit continues to burn even brighter, inspiring the young generation to uphold dignity, comfort, and compassion. Chris Buyondo, UBC.
Residents of Bukandula Parish in Gomba district have trained a good feeding practices, HIV care and prevention, how to care of expectant mothers, and environmental conservation.
These are residents of Bukandula Parish in Gomba district being trained by Korea Foundation for International Healthcare clinical experts. They have been taught about good feeding practices, HIV prevention, and maternal health.
I have learned that early in the morning, I can drink a glass of water. When eating the breakfast, it should be high. And at lunch, half. Then at night, supper, water.
I've taught a lot about food and nutrition, and at the same time they have also taught us how to maintain the environment by not cutting down trees.
The residents were also trained on environmental conservation.
Protect the environment, so that you keep healthy. Thank you so much.
Clinical experts gained training in non-communicable diseases and other health matters in South Korea.
We've come to teach the community, and we have been a combination of the Koika and the coffee. So we've come to teach them about nutrition, maternal child health, HIV. We've come to tell them about so many other things, and the Koika part also we've gone through planting trees, how to grow agriculture, and how to get on in a better health in the community.
How they should preserve trees and plant many more before they cut. Trees are important to environment. Trees help recycling system of rain so that we can have water and support our agriculture. Overcutting trees is dangerous to people, and we should continue planting and planting and planting.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya kusabula. Mikono juu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
So Mchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight, huh? For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later, huh?
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165 *80# or use the Momo app.
Uganda has a lot of experience dealing with Ebola. We have dealt with it over the years. We have some of the best minds in the world as far as dealing with Ebola is concerned. Right now, as we speak to you, nobody living in Uganda, no Ugandan has contracted Ebola. We've had 2 cases, both from the Democratic Republic of Congo, of medical tourists. Unfortunately, one died. He was sent back to the Congo. Another one is currently a patient undergoing treatment. Everybody who interacted with them has been identified and is in isolation being treated. We're encouraging you to go about your lives, but we're also saying be vigilant. Look out for the symptoms, temperature, diarrhea, those symptoms that we know. And if you see them, go to the health facility nearest to you. You shall get the help you need. If you catch Ebola early, you will survive. Uganda knows Ebola. Uganda knows how to deal with Ebola better than anybody else in the world.
Nabwin Zone Agriculture Research Institute in Karamoja sub-region has started training farmers on better agronomic practices and introducing short maturing and drought-resistant crops such as sorghum and cassava.
Most farmers in Karamoja sub-region have limited knowledge on crops like sorghum, millet, maize and green gram. They also lack quality seeds.
Sorghum grows well when it's putting sorghum grows well when it's putting all right.
Agriculture Transformation Project is funding Nabwin Zonal Agricultural Research Development Institute to train farmers better agronomics practices.
Situation here attracts very many farmers to come and learn. The farmers have already participated in land preparation. They are also participating in planting by themselves, whereby they will be able to learn and master the skill compared to when they are just trained without doing.
In Kabong District, Kabong East Sub-County, a 10-acre block farm has been established for cassava and sorghum to teach farmers better farming practices.
Through the parish level demonstration, they are demonstrating some technologies on planting sorghum. The sorghum we are demonstrating here is Narosog 2. Why we chose Narosog 2 is it is early maturing, considering that in Karamoja we have erratic rains, short season rains. They come and disappear. So we need to have a variety that matures earlier. That is why we have Narosog 2.
Farmer warriors are among the trainees.
Hey, Nabwin Naro came today and told us how to plant this sorghum.
Yes, here in Karamoja we do always broadcast, but not putting in rows. Now we have planted and we are going to extend it, and most of the community cannot do it.
Sorry, and I'm now a farmer, and I appreciate Naro for giving us these skills for farming.
Districts of Abim, Moroto, Kabong, Kotido, Napak and Nakapiriprit are benefiting from the project, and value chains like soya beans, sorghum, cassava, aquaculture, beef and the main focus. The Uganda Climate Smart Agriculture Transformation Project is a 6-year project implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries.
Uganda's leisure and hospitality industry is providing employment opportunities for many young people across the country. Middle East Restaurant recently opened the 4th branch at Oasis Mall in Kampala to bring services closer to their customers.
I want to tell all our youth, don't get excited with small money. You come and work somewhere, you get 100,000, you feel you have the world. No, save money because you don't want to be remaining waiter all your life. Me, I worked as a waiter for 4 years, but my dream was this 4 years is only a period. I'm going far with God help, but I have the dream. So first put the dream and work for it.
The hospitality sector is Uganda's fastest growing industry, where local and foreign investors are creating jobs for Ugandans. Middle East Restaurant has expanded its operations to create more employment opportunities for youth.
We opened our 4th branch at Oasis Mall in the middle of Kampala because of our people demand. We have another 3 branches, one at Bukoto, the first one, then one at Arena Mall in Sampia, the 3rd was in Tebe, and now the 4th was Oasis Mall.
For continued growth of the hospitality industry, there are opportunities for entrepreneurship and job creation.
Our priority is to make customer happy. From food, from welcoming the customer, from him ordering the food, changing whatever he wants in the food, giving him the best service. We need to, I always tell my staff, treat customer as a king, because he's coming with his money. Not only he's coming with his money, he's going out with his family or children. You never know, I tell my people, every customer, if he goes once in a year or once in a month or once in a day, he need to feel, you may find some customer save the whole month to take his family once out. He need to feel it, it's the best experience. So I call all Ugandan to come and try Middle East Restaurant in 4 branches. Now we have opened Oasis Mall to make it easy in central of Kampala. And yeah.
The Member of Parliament for Bunya East, Ekoro Alex, has pledged to work with stakeholders in the district to improve service delivery there.
Honorable Ekoro Alex Irukan, the Member of Parliament, Bunya East, in Mayuge district. The journey has been a long one, but the good God has been so faithful. And here we are now to tell the story together with my people. God has brought us this far, and we know He's taking us far. We have a lot of things that we have done, even before we are sworn in, or even before we contested for this position. So it is just a matter of adding on what we have done to make a successful ending in 2031. I ordered a grader, a motor grader, and we are going to begin with that, and all the roads are going to be cleared. So that one is going to be history in Mayuge, majorly in Bunya constituency. It's been a challenge, but we want to thank President Yoweri Museveni. The last time we came in Mayuge, he promised to give us a government hospital that is in Chigandaro, sub-county. So the health center for in Chigandaro sub-county is going to be upgraded to a government hospital. I think that one will really uplift the health situation.
In a fast-moving world, why are we still stuck with paperwork? Signing here, stamping there, moving from office to office. It's exhausting. Now, there's a better way. With UGPass, you can securely prove your identity, sign documents, and access government services anytime, anywhere. No delays, no stress. Everything is instant, safe, secure, and government-backed. UGPass, your identity secured. Available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. UGPass is a product of NITA Uganda.
Camon 50 series. Perfect snap, any zoom. Enjoy 9 GB free MTN data valid for 3 months. Available in any Techno or MTN outlet near you. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Football fever is set to hit Kampala this Sunday as Guinness hosts a massive Premier League final watch party at Millennium Grounds in Lugogo.
The event comes as the 2025-2026 Premier League title race heads into a dramatic final day, with Manchester City and Arsenal still battling for the crown. Speaking during the launch at Uganda Breweries in Luzira, Guinness brand manager Denise Paula Nazinda says the event will deliver the biggest fan experience of this season.
Has prepared the biggest party this season, this Sunday, the 24th of May at the Millennium Grounds in Lugogo. Our concert, the Chigwane Guinness, the finale that is climaxing the Premier League, the English Premier League this season. So we have an assorted list of artists, an assorted list of DJs that are going to come and entertain you. But on top of that, we prepared great screens, great sound, great football for you. So we are going to show most of the games that are happening on the 24th, which is this Sunday. All the games that are crowning the season to get whichever victor we are going to have, whether it's going to be Man City, whether it's going to be Arsenal. But we're also going to be showing all the other games that are going to be airing that day at Millennium Grounds. It's going to be a great day. Gets open at 2 p.m. Buy yourself a Guinness at the entrance at a discounted price and get in. We're not asking you for tickets. We're prepared this party for you. We're giving back to you, our fans. We are giving back to you, Premier League fans, at the end of the day.
Fans can expect giant match live screenings, performances from top Ugandan artists including Elijah Chitaka and Azawi, DJ entertainment, giveaways, plus discounted food and drinks. The Guinness Matchday track will also roll into Lugogo to recreate a stadium-like atmosphere for thousands of football lovers expected to attend. As it stands, the intrigue will not only be at the top of the table that can be decided today, but also battle for places in Europe will rage, while at the bottom, unless Spurs edge Chelsea tonight, the third relegation-bound team will be known on Sunday.
And that brings us to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching from wherever you are. My name is Michael Jodo Lukomwa. With Elizabeth Nakakon and the whole team, we wish you the best of the night. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Tonight we install the 13th president here at the Rotary Moment Show. We are going to showcase the installation of President Claire Nachiboneka, who is the 13th president of the Rotary Club of Lubowa. Rotarian Claire comes in as a lady who wants to make sure that the club feels like home. Family of Rotary is very, very important to her. Young people are